Hey, it's Mike for Bwaaa. You looking for a great haircut and shave experience? Come to Champion Salon and Barber. Our skilled barbers and stylists are dedicated to giving you the best service possible. Whether you need a simple haircut or a complete grooming package, we have you covered. And while you're here, feel free to enjoy a complimentary beer and chat with our friendly staff. We have 2 convenient locations in Waco and Woodway, Texas. You can also book appointments online or through our app, making it easy to schedule your next visit. So why wait? Visit Champion Salon and Barber today and experience a cut above the rest.
Bwaaa!
Bwaaa trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Bwaaa, King of the Hill podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty. We have reached the end of season 3.
Yeah, this is the end.
Scary stuff.
Yeah. And you know what I was thinking we should do next Monday for next Monday's episode?
What?
We should have a gap where we just, like, a reflection.
Reflection?
I think that we should give
Yeah,
them
we could do that.
a reflection for next Monday. That way we could kind of give a pause.
I don't keep mirrors in my house.
Yeah,
A pregnant pause.
A really pregnant pause. There you go. We'll give them the old good comedy pregnant pause, and let everybody ruminate and think about where we're at in the quest.
I don't
for
think
King
I
of the
like
Hill.
this idea, Rusty.
If you wear
when
I don't know,
protection
I like it.
during your pause, you won't get pregnant.
when I
like
reflect
it.
on things,
Well,
I
'cause-
just hate myself.
Well, because we have to introduce them to the next step. So like whenever we're
That's true.
because we're doing something different next.
We are going to do something. Don't say it.
Oh, I'm not going to say
Yeah.
anything. So the
Don't
next,
say it, Mason.
Don't say it, Mason. Don't even say it. Not ever.
Don't even think it.
Don't
We're
even
gonna
think
wear
it.
pants.
Okay. So
Finally.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna like I think we should do
Overalls.
like an episode where we just like the gap.
Yeah, we can.
And we just
Absolutely.
introduce them to the next.
Let's
step.
do it. Let's do it while we're
And,
waiting to see if Peggy is
Yeah,
in
we
her
gotta
same
leave them
state.
hanging off the cliff
That's
or
right.
or laying in the field, if you will. We gotta leave them laying in the field for the next episode.
So
next season.
we are season 3, episode 25, as
25.
old as the hills, part 1.
Yep, it's 25 weeks.
Now this one holds a special place in my heart because it is the first with a bell and a yell.
It is the first. There we go.
There it is. Yeah.
There you go. The first
So
bell and yell.
I gave that clip
May
to Mason and
18th,
said, hey,
1999, Season 3, Episode 25, The First Bell and Yell.
Yeah.
Yeehaw.
And then there is a thing that I want us to mess around with maybe on a Friday and talk about the different intros. I didn't realize there were so many.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of different ones.
There's a bunch of different ones. Traditionally, it's the image, but there's different audio. They always use different sounds.
So
and stuff
primarily,
like that.
bell and yell are used on season finales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either until today when I was researching this
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, first bell and yell.
Okay.
And we open this sucker up with all 4 guys in the alley. Hank is standing there and he says, listen, guys, I sent cards out about a month ago for our 20th wedding anniversary barbecue. So now we know what time period we're dealing
Wow,
with.
20 years of Hank and Peggy.
And Peggy
That's a boring-ass 20 years.
well, we'll find out how boring here in a second.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
Peggy is kind of a stickler for those things, so I'm going to need your RSVPs. So he literally just turns to Dale, Bill, and Boom, and they go,
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's
All
it.
right, then.
He
So it's
said,
official.
All right, then, it's official. Bill, of course, being the idiot, says, are you going to give her China? 20th anniversary China. My marriage only made it to wood. Wood. So
you guys a little facts and figures on the
just
marriage
real
stuff
quick
here?
from
Okay.
ideas.hallmark.com. First anniversary is paper. 5th anniversary is wood. So now we know where Bill made it to.
So Bill made it to 5
He
years.
was married for 5 years. 10th anniversary. Guess. What do you think it is?
Crystal.
10.
Glass?
It's 10.
Oh, 10, 10,
Oh.
10.
You
Okay.
give them an aluminum can and you're
All
done.
right.
10
Yeah,
or
you're done.
aluminum.
Yeah.
Shut up,
It's not
Hallmark.
hard. A can of
15th.
soup.
15th is Crystal.
Okay, 15th is Crystal.
20th, China.
China's
so
the 20th.
the Hills should get some China.
Is it porcelain or is it just China?
It just says China.
Okay.
I'm
is there a porcelain year
I'm
on there?
assuming the
No.
entire country.
Is 25 a bullet?
20, 25 is silver. So, I mean,
Silver,
if your
okay.
wife's a werewolf.
Yeah, if your wife's a werewolf.
30th is pearls.
Pearls.
We all know what that means.
Your 50th is your platinum, right?
50th is gold.
Oh, gold.
And then 60th, diamond.
Diamond.
So you don't get a diamond until you're with somebody for 60 years.
And there's
Hallmark.
guys out here giving
And
women
what's the
diamonds
point?
off the
At
go.
that point, your fingers can barely hold the
That's
diamond.
what I'm
Well, that's the
saying.
thing is like we're giving women diamonds from the start, or some men are, and then you get some
Yeah.
people wait till they're 60. They're married 60 years. Not a lot of diamonds being handed out.
That's true. That's true. A lot of these people being compressed into diamonds at that point.
Yeah.
So
Dust.
he says that his marriage only made it to wood, which we found out is 5 years. Hank says, no, but after the party, Luanne's going camping with friends and Bobby's going to my dad's. That means Peggy and I will have the whole weekend to ourselves. So I won't be in the alley as much. 20 years. And then Dale
yeah.
says, if your marriage were a murderer, it'd probably be out by now.
now.
And then we get our first of many pregnant pauses.
Dale. Yeah, old Dale.
All right, so we are at the Hill House later. We see Didi and Cotton coming in the front door. There's a big,
She's very
super
visibly pregnant.
super pregnant.
So was she pregnant in
Looks
other
like she's
episodes
pregnant
before
with-
this?
yeah,
Yeah, she announced her pregnancy a couple episodes ago.
She looks like she's
Forget what
pregnant
episode.
I couldn't quite remember or remember.
No, it was
that.
the episode where Hank's trying to get Lady Bird pregnant.
Oh
and
yeah,
Didi's
yeah,
pregnant.
absolutely. I got you. Yeah, I remember now.
She is so big. She
Yeah,
looks like she
yeah.
could pop out another Cotton.
Yeah, no,
She
Like,
no,
basically does.
Yeah,
yeah, she
for the
basically
most
does,
part.
Yeah.
So we see a big banner.
GH.
Good, Hank.
Oh, isn't this
Next episode.
Next
It's introduced
episode.
Well, I know
when
it's
we
the
meet
next episode, but that's like where we're at right now. We're at the GA. Like,
Yeah.
We're at the next big arc.
We're at the
in the show.
GH Nexus.
The nexus of GH.
So we see a big banner over the front door that says, congratulations, Hank and Peggy. And it's got balloons all over the place. I'm not sure who put all that up. We are in the kitchen. Peggy pulls a pie from the oven. Peggy has made a pie. I don't want any of that pie, but Peggy has made a pie.
What kind of pie do you think it is?
I think it's probably cherry or apple, something plain,
You don't
something
think it's
American.
like the Peggy's brown apple Betty?
No, no. I think our brown apple Betty comes in a rectangular
Oh, like
pan.
it's like
yeah,
it's like,
a
an apple
casserole pan.
cinnamon
Yeah.
crust
Yeah.
casserole.
Yeah. I don't think it's good.
Do you have to
but
call
I think it is.
everything in that dish a casserole?
I think it is a casserole dish. Yeah.
So anything you're eating out of it. So if you make lasagna in it, it's lasagna casserole.
I don't know that you have. I don't know that there's a law yet. I know Congress is working hard.
Well,
but
I know I did read in the news that because as you know,
it's the best place to get your news.
As you might know, the European Union has rules on what champagne can be called champagne.
Yes, only
They-
from the region of Champagne.
in France. Well, there was a shipment of Miller High Life that happened to
Yeah, I
pass
saw
through
that.
customs somewhere.
The champagne of beers.
Like 26,000 cans of Miller High Life. Since it calls itself the champagne of beers, the customs
They
destroyed
flagged
it.
it and destroyed it.
And
Wow.
destroyed it. Sent it off to be destroyed, which is about what you should do with Miller High Life. You should destroy it.
Man, I hadn't had Miller High Life in forever.
It should be called the homeless of beers.
Yeah. Okay. Small soapbox for beers. Most beer. What's most beer made of?
Hops and barley.
Hops and barley, right?
And water.
Bud Light, Coors Light, those kind of things. They
Yeah.
don't use it. They use rice instead
Oh,
because
they
it's
do?
cheap.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they use rice.
So it's like sake, but
that's
really,
why
really
it's
cheap.
so bad.
It's like really cheap piss
Well, it's so
sake.
weak. That's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Using the rice and stuff.
Dang.
Well, if
So
you,
it's
you
cheap
got to
rice
make
beer.
it weak, Mike. That way you can drink like
That's
12
true.
and just keep drinking.
Yeah, that way
I
you
don't
can drink 12 and
understand
then
that.
brag about it at work the next day.
I always
drank
wanted
12 Bud Lights last night.
I always wanted it to hit hard and not have to drink so much because I didn't enjoy getting up peeing every 5 minutes.
That's why I drank liquor.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't drink
can see
beer.
that.
That's
Yeah.
exactly why I didn't drink beer.
That's why I drank liquor too, and then I didn't. Okay, so the phone starts ringing, and Luanne comes over and answers it, and she goes, "Hello, hi Tracy. My aunt is so happy I'm coming camping with you. She and Uncle Hank are going to get so busy. What? Oh, do they expect the forest fire to last the whole weekend? She just kind of whimpers and hangs it up. Because you don't throw things at Luanne and expect her to land on her feet. She's not great at rolling or
she can't roll
pivoting.
With punches.
Yeah.
No, she cannot.
So she hangs up. Peggy says, "Everything okay, honey?" She goes, "Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, they just phoned to remind me to bring a extra can of gravy." And she picks up a damn can of gravy. Who's buying
gravy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Can you buy gravy in a can? I thought it only came in a packet.
No, you can buy it in a can.
If you can buy chicken in a can, you can buy anything in a
gravy
can.
in a can.
Whole chicken in a can?
Now,
you ever seen the whole chicken in a can before?
Yeah,
yes.
where they
have you ever ate one?
No.
I have a friend that grew up really like.
I think you meant had.
Well, I had. No, he's still
he ate
my
a chicken
friend.
in a can and died.
When he was a little kid, they were really broke. His mom was like a drug addict, and his dad had died when he was real young from HIV.
This is a fun story.
Yeah,
far.
it is. But he still jokes about it now, so that's like a funny joke that me and him have. I'll be like, "Well, what are y'all having for Thanksgiving?" And he said, "Well, I was gonna go down there and get me one of those chicken in a cans and cook it up." It just makes me laugh.
I've seen the balut in a can.
Balut.
The
I don't know what that is.
The old fermented duck egg.
Oh yeah,
it's got like a baby duck in it. I've seen that in a can.
No.
Used to be a place here in town called O&H Rare Foods that sold all this weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember going and buying chocolate covered ants and
I like the Kanye pepper crickets.
Mm-hmm. They had like
we sold those at Earthbound. I worked at Earthbound for a little while, and they had all that.
Makes total sense, Rusty, that you worked at Earthbound.
It does.
Yeah. I can see you selling a lot of hemp bracelets.
I actually for a regional record, I broke a regional record on hookahs to Baylor students.
Oh, really?
I was selling hookahs like wild.
Students.
Well, I would see people out and about in parties and stuff.
What a record.
Well, I was going to parties and stuff, and I'd see people. So I'd see Baylor kids, and I'd be like, "Hey, man, I can get you a really good deal on a hookah if you come to Earthbound." So I'd just have kids just coming in, like people that were 18 and stuff.
What a deal.
Streaming in there, man.
I've never wanted a hookah. I didn't
either. I never
Gosh,
liked it
if
either.
I could smoke out of a tube, that would be the best.
Yeah, I'm good.
One time I did a hookah, I ended up with a clap.
Good job, by the way. I was hoping that's where that was going. All right, so yes, you can buy gravy in a can. It's always the brown gravy. You can't. I don't know that you can get the white gravy in a can.
I don't know that I would want white gravy.
No, you don't. But I'm just saying,
I don't know. I want brown gravy out of a can. Brown gravy is really popular in England. They
brown gravy
French
is
fries.
Yeah, they put it on a lot of stuff.
On French fries.
Well,
beans
so
on
do the
toast
Canadians,
too, Oh, the poutine
and all that stuff.
Poutine.
Poutine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Nugent. Poutine. So next, we see Bill and Boomhauer on the back porch. They're tossing each other beers out of the cooler. The kids are all running around. I wrote a note down here, and I'm going to tell you what I think it says here in a second. Mm-hmm. And Luanne comes out talking to Bobby. She's like, "Bobby, my camping trip's been canceled, and the shelter says I have to be battered to stay there. So could I go with you to Cotton's?"
That is awful.
It's a great line.
Awful.
No, it's a great line. They say I have to be battered. And Bobby immediately, he's like, no way. This is my last chance for Grandpa to spoil me before the baby's born. You stay away from him. He's mine. And he doesn't even know your name.
Yes, he does.
Which is
her line here is funny as hell too. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Missy Melons.
Missy Melons. Oh, that's so funny. Now we're back inside with Peggy and Didi. Peggy says, "Remember, these baby clothes are just on loan until I get pregnant with my second child. Maybe this weekend." No, Peggy, that's not going to happen. Didi says, "It is so unfair that your eggs are rotten." Your eggs are rotten. Peggy says, well, for your information, my eggs are just fine. It's Hank's narrow urethra that's the problem, although no one's to blame. Nope, just stating the fact. So she's holding on to a little anger about Hank's urethra, it seems. Next, we see outside there's a table, big long table with everybody in the neighborhood sitting there. There's balloons and everything. They're obviously having their big barbecue. Kahn stands up. He starts tapping on a plastic cup for attention.
Yeah, for whatever he is.
Yeah. He says
anything for attention.
He says, "Hey, I would like to make toast to Hank and Peggy Hillbilly." which he thinks is just the funniest thing ever because he got to say Billy.
They've been married. Funny.
He says they've been married 20 years. That long time. Minh and I only been married 13 years, but it's quality, not quantity, that matter. Last year on our anniversary, Minh and I bungee jump off Route 74 bridge. I love you, Minh Souphanousinphone. She says, I love you, Kahn. And then they just literally start making out right there in front of everybody.
Right there in front of everybody.
Tongue, everything.
The whole nine, yeah.
Hank and Peggy are just like sad and disgusted.
Everything but
and
the
just,
kitchen sink.
Oh, they just start to eat. Next, we see they're sitting at the table, and Dale's like, oh, presents. Hands them a present. Peggy says, oh, you guys didn't have to do this. Dale, of course, says, I know, but Nancy said we did. And by the way, he's sitting on one side, then there's Nancy, then there's Redcorn next to Nancy.
Yeah. I mean, he's always there.
Not a moment wasted.
Not a moment.
Yeah, I know, but
probably holding hands while Dale's sitting there watching.
Nancy said we did. Oh, they're canes. Read the card. She pulls out. He's giving them walking canes, like wooden curved walking canes.
What if they turn in the new show? What if they turn Dale, Redcorn, and Nancy into a geriatric polyamorous relationship? With the geriatrics, baby boomer. No, just think about it. A baby boomer three-way relationship would destroy the internet.
I don't have to think about it. I'm in one.
I don't see Mike Judge ever writing that though.
I don't think he would either. But that would break. Everybody would be pissed. The uproar would be insane.
I think someone in that relationship could suggest it. That might be I think if Nancy for an episode,
it,
you know, it's like somebody suggests it.
It
they
always
try
start
it.
with one party suggesting.
That's what I'm saying, right? So
Yeah.
so one person brings it up, they kind of nervously try it, and it doesn't happen. You know, I can see that being an episode.
I think what happens is he ends up like seeing John Redcord like butt naked, all like buff, and he banging his wife, and he's just sitting there watching, thinking, "What did I allow here?"
He's just a cuckold.
Yeah.
So he says, read the card. So she goes, okay, for when the hills are over the hill. And Dale just can't contain himself.
Your last name's Hill.
Your last name's Hill. Ha ha. She goes, yep, there's not much to get there. Now we're in the Hill house. It's a little later. Hank is setting up the screen and the slide projector in the living room. Have you guys ever watched a slide presentation like that off an actual slide projector?
Like a 35mm film projector?
Yeah. No. Like slides. Like those little paper slides that you put in the wheel.
I think maybe once in elementary school.
Really?
Maybe. But
oh, you're talking about the rotary wheel thing? Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, for sure.
I've got one in there. It's got all of my slides from when I was born in Taiwan and when I was a kid and all this stuff. Yeah.
We should do an episode about that. Not on this, somewhere. We should make a podcast for it or something. Lost technology or something. I don't know. Vintage something. We do lost slides.
So they're setting up the screen, and Hank's going to give his presentation, which is odd. Okay, everybody, let's settle down now. This is not my award-winning The History of Propane slideshow, but it's the next best thing. My marriage to Mrs. Peggy Hill. It's just weird that he calls her that.
This is the most. No, this is weird. I call it 20 years of outstanding service.
Yeah.
Imagine telling your wife 20 years of
in
outstanding
front of everybody.
Service. What the actual fuck? She's got to be pissed.
Peggy's just like, oh, Hank. You know,
she would literally. I don't understand why she's just not just like standing up in anger.
Hank points to Bobby, gives him the go, and he starts playing music on the boombox. Hank says, with the first slide comes up, it's Peggy with longer hair. She's in a small apartment. She's kind of Vanna Whiting the one bed they have there and the few boxes that are in there, but she looks super happy. He goes, here we see the early years when our first home was an efficiency apartment. Although it would have been more efficient if it was heated with propane. That's the funniest thing.
The funniest thing on earth. Hey, good joke. Yep.
He goes to the next slide. You see a pull-out couch. Peggy also in this slide, but she has different hair again. So now this is her second hairdo. She goes, our bed was only a piece of furniture, and it was all we needed. He said, yep, because it converted into a couch, and then went to the next slide. And we see Peggy again with different hair. She's got much longer hair. She's now holding a newborn Bobby, which Bobby got a potato head.
Yeah,
it looks like a little
head,
potato.
Right, yeah.
He says, Bobby's head pretty much regained its shape, and Peggy pretty much regained her shape, too. Hank, you're just sticking your foot right in your mouth every time you open
jackass,
it here lately. He says, seriously, that was the day Bobby was born. And you see Peggy kind of looking at a pregnant Didi who's rubbing her belly. He goes, and here's Peggy and me whooping it up at the Young Gassers Ball. Shows a slide, and it's Peggy, Hank, Buck, and some lady, and it just looks super friggin' boring.
Is that like a propane thing?
I guess. The Gassers Ball.
Yeah, I never heard that one.
I mean, it's got to be, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So everybody in the room, which is everybody in the room, they are super bored, and you can tell. And Kahn, he's like leaning over the back of the couch. He goes, slideshow longer than damn marriage. He goes to the next slide. Now we see Hank with for some reason, he's got an Abraham Lincoln white beard. I don't understand why that kind of beard, but whatever.
Hank's always wanted a beard.
But the Abraham Lincoln one, that's a commitment, man.
That is a
Whenever you
commitment.
decide to shave off the mustache and just go with the beard, you got a statement. You know, that is a statement of some kind. You just need a bowler hat after that, right?
That's
Then
it.
you're
Just
done.
a bowler, and then you're done.
Yeah. Peggy is standing next to him, and she looks like she's ancient. She's got white hair, and I mean solid white hair, and then her readers on, and she looks just super friggin' old.
Way old.
Hank says, is this Hank and Peggy Hill 20 years from now? I hope so, because I wouldn't want it any other way. Peggy just looks like she's seen a ghost. You know,
I do get what he's trying to say at this
Sure,
last one.
sure. He goes, here's to 20 more years of outstanding service.
Outstanding
And
service.
I understand, you know, where he's coming from with that. It's just misplaced and not a great way to refer to their
No, not
marriage.
at all.
So you see Hank kiss Peggy on the cheek, and she gets up and goes in front of the screen. You hear kind of a scattered applause. She goes, well, and she's holding these papers. She goes, well, I have summarized our marriage in a different fashion, and I hope that you will find no less pleasing. I begin. I don't know. Why does she got to tell people she's beginning?
Yeah, I have no clue.
We planted our seed a long time ago, and for 20 years we've watched it grow into a beautiful garden of give and take, and now it's time to cut the cake. But before we do, I'd like to say, and then Didi, you hear something come out of her. I would like to say I'm so glad you're here today. Ooh, you hear Didi. To share with the baby kicked my insides. Peggy is getting super irritated. Cotton, of course, pipes up and says, it puts on quite a show when it gets going. Didi, show him your gas tank. Gas tank.
Gas tank.
Didi gets up, shows everybody her belly. All the kids come over, start rubbing on it and stuff. This one's busting to get out. Not like Hank. Never moved once while he was in there. Not even born. He already gave up. Peggy looks super depressed at these papers. And plus, Cotton, screw you.
Imagine she does.
I'm not going to lie, though. You've already been born, you already gave up. Sorry, it was one of my favorite lines ever.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
It is pretty
Yeah, it
good.
ain't
Wasn't even
bad.
born and he already gave up.
Wasn't even born and he already gave up.
Now it's later in the evening and everybody's starting to leave. And Luanne comes up like she's all ready to go camping. She's got her flannel on. She's got a backpack on. She goes, well, I'm leaving for the weekend. Got my gravy. She
Got my
pulls out
gravy.
a can of gravy. And then she gets in a cab. Where do they think she's going if she's getting in a damn cab? I mean, that's kind of
Where are you
crazy.
going
right?
in Arlen in a cab?
She's not on their peripheral at all.
No,
Well, I just
not
never
at all.
understood
You're
why
right.
small towns like that even have cab service.
I used to get in a cab when I was a kid just to say I rode in a cab.
I just paid
Like
for
I took a
just
cab
ride.
ride one time. It cost me like $20. I was like,
Just
hey,
to
I
ride
rode in a
it.
cab.
I rode in a cab.
Yeah, in Waco.
Yeah.
It's the saddest thing I've ever said.
Yeah.
So she gets in the cab and
Oh, I knew a guy that used to run the. My dad used to go to this bar called Jester's on the Saw. Well,
where
sometimes
that's
we'd go to
It's
the
on the
flea
Saw?
market
Yeah.
in the mornings.
yeah. Oh shit!
and it
Jester's
would
was the
be
one right across, the street. Yeah. Okay.
So my dad knew the owner of Jester's, so we would park there and walk
that the
across
one-
the street.
Was that the one that had Garfield the cat on it? Like there for a while, there was a bar
maybe.
over there that had a huge
No,
Garfield.
I don't
like,
think it was that one.
hanging on the wall.
I don't know that it was that one, but so we would park in their parking lot.
Not
But
Andrew Garfield.
sometimes my dad would go inside and drink a beer
Yeah,
first
sure.
before we would go to
Sure.
the flea market.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Well, there was a guy named Big Al,
Big Al.
and he was the taxi dispatcher. He was the guy who
Really?
dispatched the taxis
Yeah,
and stuff. And
yeah.
he would get off of work late night because he worked late nights. He'd get off to work and he would go to the bar at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So we'd be going to the flea market and we'd sit there and listen to him talk about all the crazy cab stories.
I used to sell carpet remnants at the flea market. How about that?
Like pieces.
I'm just
like,
trying to. I'm trying
like
to
pieces of carpet.
I'm trying to.
You've always been an entrepreneur.
I'm
then.
trying to stack the sadness here through my
no,
stories.
That's not sadness. You've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. And you've always sold something or bought something.
My father-in-law at the time owned a carpet store.
Oh.
And so he had this huge warehouse where he would have all these carpet remnants, right? And so I'd take them out to the flea market on Saturdays and Sundays and sell them. And it was a real pain in the ass. Like, I remember going to the warehouse to pick up stuff, and like mice would run all over me and stuff as I'm pulling stuff.
But it had to be a good racket if you were doing it.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I had this old beat up Ford Astro van, and so I could just pile it full of stuff, so much that like you could see it weight down, there was so much carpet in it. But what I was going to say is when you said Big Al, it reminded me of a guy out there at the flea market. His name was Chicken. They just called him Chicken. Chicken really enjoyed selling wrestling figures, wrestling cards, wrestling stuff.
Oh, wrestling memorabilia,
right?
Yeah.
Chicken also liked to, at least once a weekend, take a lime and rub it on his nipple. So I don't know where that came from or why that's a thing.
I don't know why you're telling us this.
I don't know how you know that, though.
It's a story.
I'm more curious.
Did you watch him do it or something?
Yes, I did. Like he would go, hey, what's this? And he would just rub a damn lime on his nipple.
Just rub a lime on his nipple?
It's so weird, yeah. I don't think I ever saw him rub a lemon on his nipple.
Was he like marinating it or pre-soaking
his nipple or the lime?
Suck on it later?
I don't know. That's different. That's definitely different.
That was, it was the same time.
Put a lime on the nipple and drink it all up.
It's the same time where he had like those little, Mexican pinwheel things that, like you put all the hot sauce on and stuff.
Yeah,
just walk around with that stuff. So he'd have that on his hands and a lime, and he's rubbing it on his. It wasn't great. It wasn't great.
No, that's the only reason to go to the flea market anymore.
But I would buy stuff cheap from him and then resell it.
I like all the Mexican candy.
Yeah.
That's the only reason to go to the flea market anymore.
I don't like being chased by all the chickens. All right, so he says she gets in the cab, and the cab driver turns around and is like, okay, where to? She goes, anywhere but here. Well, not the dress barn. I bounced a check. Or the nail salon for the same reason. And so they drive off. Bobby gets into the car with Didi and Cotton. And he says, bye, take a good look, because the next time you see me, I'll be spoiled rotten. Hank's like, all right. And they're just waving to everybody leaving. Now we're in Cotton's car, and Bobby's balloon is about to get popped. He says, hey, guys, just letting you know, if you do serve ice cream for dinner, I won't tell. Cotton turns around, or he's driving. I don't know why they let this tiny man drive.
I don't know why they let him drive, period.
Bobby?
At all.
Bobby, this ain't no Baskin Robbins vacation. Didi's with child. She's useless. Now, you can start by cleaning the back of my ears. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Clean the back of my ears?
I'm not cleaning the back of
Didi
anybody's
hands
ears.
Bobby a hanky, and he just starts rubbing on him. So this is something that Didi apparently does for Cotton every once in a while, cleans the back of his damn ears.
That's weird.
That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing to ask of a spouse.
Clean the back of my ears.
Yeah, clean the back of my ears.
He doesn't ask anybody anything, by the way.
No, he tells them.
Yeah. So we're at the Hill House now, and we see Hank and Peggy. They're cleaning everything up. Peggy's sweeping up with one of those tiny little brooms, like an umpire. Hank is putting up the screen from his presentation into the closet. He goes, well, that was great. We ran out of potato salad and meat at the same time. Perfect. Thought my slideshow went over pretty big. all in all, a pretty good day. Happy anniversary, Peggy. Don't wake me up when you come in. And he just takes off to the bedroom. Like he's just like, okay, screw it, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then Peggy is on the floor sweeping, and she just breaks down and starts sobbing. Hank turns around and goes, look, if you're worried about the mess, you can clean it up later. Well, thanks, Hank. Thanks a lot. And she just starts sobbing even louder. And that takes us to our first commercial break.
First commercial break.
And we will be right back. Well, let me tell you, Rusty, eating healthy used to be a struggle for me, but that was before I discovered the BlendJet 2 portable blender.
The BlendJet 2.
Now when fast food temptation strikes, I just blend up a delicious and nutritious protein shaker smoothie. They gave us a whole bunch of those little packages that came with the blender.
Yeah.
And there's some really good flavors in there. I mean, there's some like that matcha thing.
The green matcha?
Yeah, those are pretty damn good. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up smoothies at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. Maybe a human thumb. Don't put your thumb in it. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house. Lasts for 15-plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C, which has saved us all. There's nothing worse than turning that USB thing over and over and over and over, and then finally finding how it plugs in, you know?
Oh, yeah, I don't like that
USB-C
either. USB-C saved us all.
Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap, and you're good to go. There's 30-plus colors and patterns to choose from. There's a BlendJet 2 to complement just about any style. We have a pink one? Lavender.
Pink one.
I think ours is lavender.
Mine is the Toy Story Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Pizza Planet one.
Ooh,
yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some really cool colors, but I really like the patterns. I know one of the people here got one that looks like Woody the Sheriff.
Is there a code with them?
There is a code. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. Glab it today.
Glibbity glob.
And when you do glab it, make sure you use the promo code
BWAAA12.
That's to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code
BWAAA12
to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever.
BlendJet 2, formerly known as BlendJet.
Hey, everyone. It's me, your puzzle-loving pal. Did you know I was a puzzle-loving pal?
I didn't know you were a puzzle-loving pal.
I got to tell you about my latest obsession. It's Wongo puzzles. These things are the real deal. They are high-quality, handcrafted, and perfect for anyone who loves a good challenge but doesn't want to dedicate their entire kitchen table to puzzles for a week. Trust me, I have been there. I will tell you this. My parents, they're very old and decrepit, and they do puzzles all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like there's always a table that has like an unfinished puzzle. Yeah, it's either that or I don't know.
Die.
Feel your bones. So these puzzles, these Wongo puzzles, they are 100% wooden. They'll last forever. Each piece is hand drawn. Just think about that for a second. Each piece is hand drawn, so no two pieces are the same, and you'll discover some fun whimsy pieces as you work through it.
Whimsy.
They come in a custom wooden box, which is perfect for storage and gifting. Before we started doing this, I didn't realize how many people I know already have these Wongo puzzles. I mean, they're apparently pretty.
You can't go wherever Juan go.
With stunning designs and unique shapes, Wongo puzzles are a cut above the rest. I loved doing the snow globe puzzle myself. It was great to pull out a puzzle and be done in a night and not have it on the table for a week. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to Wongo Puzzles, WONGO puzzles.com, and pick a puzzle today. And be sure to use the promo code
BWAAA
for 10% off your order. It's the most fun you'll have with a puzzle, guaranteed, or your money back. Go to WONGO puzzles.com and use your code
BWAAA
to get 10% off your order and get puzzling right now. And we are back from those amazing commercials about puzzles and blenders.
Wow.
So we are we're back in the Hill house, and they're still cleaning up. Peggy is carrying dishes to the sink, and she literally just kind of chunks them in the sink.
Yeah, just
because
haphazardly.
She's just like, ugh.
Done dealing with it.
She's still crying. Hank says, if you're worried about Bobby, he's going to be fine at Cotton's. It's just a weekend. I had to survive a whole childhood. She goes, Hank, we're old. He goes, oh, Peggy, that was just a joke slide, although the format did make you look much older than me. She goes, no. It's not the joke slide, Hank. The joke slide was funny, okay? It's all. She's like, okay. She goes, it's all the other slides. I saw a young married couple. I did not recognize them. I mean, Hank, we look like strangers who stole our glasses and our hair. Hank says, well, I assure you it was us. She says, whatever happened to that young couple with their dreams of inventing a steak sauce and getting rich or taking a train to Alaska?
Yeah.
That's the first we've heard of a steak sauce, correct?
Yeah, that's the first. Yeah, I've never heard of that one yet.
Hank says that couple just grew up and realized there was too much competition among existing steak sauces. We did ourselves a favor by abandoning their dreams, Peggy. She says, well, maybe we should just start using those canes that Dale gave us and we could bash ourselves over the heads and just be done with it. Jesus, Peggy. Hank says, look, Peggy, we've both been looking forward to this weekend. The kids are out of the house. We've rented an R-rated movie. She goes, uh-huh. He says, we'll fry up some Jiffy Pop. She says, uh-huh. Hank, what movie did you rent? He says, Platoon. Yeah, you're old. You're definitely old.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Mike. That if any movie's gonna get you in the mood, it's Platoon.
It's a damn fine movie for making babies. Yeah,
I don't know why that would be his choice
Platoon
of movie
is
to
the
watch
one.
with your wife.
Is Platoon the one that has me so horny in it? The quote?
No,
Which
that's
one is it? Full Metal
Full Metal
Jacket.
Jacket,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Me so horny.
Yeah, see, he just got
Me
the wrong
love
one.
you long
He just got the
time.
wrong one.
Yeah, he's got the
All
wrong
right.
one.
You get Full Metal Jacket, and boy, oh boy, Wood City. All right, so now we see Luanne sneaking in through the window because she has nowhere to freaking go.
Nowhere.
It's sad, but it's funny at the same time.
Yeah, I got a fact for that. So whenever you notice when she's jumping in the window, she's got this can of it's a pink and white brand beef gravy.
Yeah, it's a gravy in a can.
And then she throws it at Ladybird. Yeah.
She goes, Ladybird, it's
That's one of
me,
those
Luanne.
Artie facts coming in from Artie.
Thanks,
Appreciate you,
Artie. She goes, Ladybird, it's me, Luanne. I mean, she's all loud and shit.
Yeah.
Ladybird starts growling a little bit, and then she goes, oh, here you go crazy, and throws the can of gravy at the damn dog. It rolls under the bed. The dog just starts scratching. The dog could give a crap. She goes, good girl. Yeah.
You know, I just thought something. Even if the camping trip got canceled, isn't there no reason why she can't ask if her friend if she can stay at her house?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, look at all the people in her neighborhood that they know. Why didn't she? But again, she's just not great on her feet. Like something
not at
changes,
all.
she's screwed.
Yeah, she's
I get
out.
not asking Bill.
Yes, but Boomhauer.
Boomhauer.
I mean, you could. Well, I guess they've been through that thing already, haven't they?
Well, no, she watched his house once.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But he could still just she could stay on the couch for a weekend.
Well, geez, I mean, the fact that they're going to watch Platoon, I mean, she could have just stayed in the damn house. Just stay out of their way. Nobody would have cared.
Yeah, nobody would have cared.
Anyway, she just falls through the window in a big lump. We're back at Cotton's, and Bobby is pushing a crib down the hall, and he goes, Bobby, come on in here. And he's pushing the crib into the room that the Cotton's in. He goes, this is the baby's room, decorated it myself. It is literally a gun rack. There are 2 crossed swords on the wall. There's military planes hanging instead of mobiles.
I don't see anything wrong with this.
There's like war photos on the wall and a full ass American flag on a big flagpole with a eagle on the top of it.
Are we sure Cotton didn't give birth to Ted Nugent?
He might have.
Wango Tango. He says,
or Kid Rock, maybe.
He said both. He says, this is the baby's room. I decorated it myself. He goes, you see this picture? That's before I had my shins blown off. He's kind of broken up whenever he says that because he misses his shins. It's a picture of a young soldier, and Bobby says, what's that you're holding? He goes, head of a Nazi? Oh, no, it's a canteen.
Head of a Nazi.
He said, no, it's a canteen. Now we go over to the AAC, or for the uninformed, that is the Arlen Auto Club. Hank is inside talking to Jim, who works at the AAC, and he says, hey, Jim, I'm looking for a nice restaurant to take my wife to for our anniversary. All right, let's see. He's just looking through the big book because that's the way we used to do it.
Yep.
Says there's that revolving restaurant in McMainerberry. It's got 7 in the auto guide. Ooh, 7. Wow. He goes, why don't I get my highlighter and throw together a triptych for you? And now you want the direct route or the scenic? Most folks tell me the extra 5 minutes is worth it. He goes, direct. Hank never wants to take a
No, he never wants to do much of anything.
So, do you know what a triptych is?
I don't know what that is.
I did not know what a triptych was either. But a triptych is AAA, or the Auto Association of America.
Oh, okay.
Triptych is a planning tool for driving trips. It includes a starting point and an end point with turn-by-turn directions that include up to 25 stops. You can also add gas station points of interest, restaurants, attractions, and events, and hotels along your route.
Oh,
so
awesome.
This is the way you used to plan a trip, like on TripAdvisor or something.
Before
so it's like
Google Maps?
before Google Maps.
Yeah. It's a AAA triptych.
Okay.
Although
The
we're
90s.
we're at the AAC, not the AAA.
The AAA, yeah.
So now we're at the McMainerberry Hilton. It is 7 floors tall, and it says McMainerberry like in gigantic freaking letters on the side of it. And it's got that spinning top restaurant. You ever been in the spinning one in San Antonio, like in the Space Needle?
No, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've never been in it.
My wife and I went there one time.
Nauseating. Could you feel the
I wouldn't-
motion as you're eating, though? Could
Just
you tell that you're
barely,
moving?
right?
Yeah.
So that's what makes this next joke funny. It
Well, if you
just
close your eyes, do you feel like you're moving?
Not
Is it only
really.
it's only because you're seeing the outside.
yeah, you're just
move
seeing the outside, and it's passing real slow.
real slow.
right?
Yeah.
So they're in the McManaberry Hilton at the top, spinning around. Hank says, "Well, what do you know? You can see all of McManaberry," and they're just looking out, at the city. He goes, there's that auto mall they're always bragging about. Who the hell's who's bragging about an auto mall? Peggy says, and in about 30 minutes, we'll be facing the sunset. So that's what I'm saying. See, 30 minutes is going to take them to get around to the other side where they see the sun.
Well, that's why you got to order an appetizer and then
That's
appetizer first and then take a real long time to order your
That's
food.
right.
There you
That's
go.
right. Lots of drinks. The waiter comes up and says, "Hi, can I get you folks anything to drink?" She goes, "Oh, I've never tried a Singapore sling."
I have the ingredients for that if you want me to run
Do
through those
it.
really, really
Let's go.
fast. Okay, so Artie gave us the ingredients.
Singapore sling.
A Singapore sling is 1 dash of Angostura bitters,
Okay.
1 ounce of gin, a half ounce of fresh lime juice,
Yeah.
a half ounce of sherry brandy, a half ounce of grenadine, served in a tall glass, garnished with a pineapple slice, a cherry, and a flag.
God, sounds fantastic.
It does sound pretty good.
I used to
doesn't it?
love gin. Oh,
I
gin was my thing.
I really like bitters. I like drinks with
Yeah.
bitters.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the bitters.
Well, I'm just thinking all the citrus stuff that's in it and
I
things
like
like that.
citrusy
Any of that
drinks.
kind of stuff is so
Yeah.
refreshing.
I like citrus.
It's
I like
very
a drink that's crisp. I like crisp alcoholic beverages. Yeah.
Yeah, my liver did not like them.
Yeah.
So she goes, I'd never tried a Singapore sling. He goes, Hank says, "I think it has alcohol in it, Peggy, unless you want me to be the designated driver." All right, Hank, you roll it up a little bit. Peggy says, "Hank, this night's supposed to be special." He goes, "Okay, I won't have my beer then." She goes, "No, I won't have anything." So she's pissed at this point. He says, "Well, maybe we can both drink. How much do you weigh?" Jesus.
Yeah, you don't ask them, yeah.
She goes, "I'll just have water, thank you." He goes, "I'll have a beer." Damn, Hank, that's cold. Not knowing, how this thing is going, not being able to feel the room, and then at the end you're just like, "Okay, screw it, I'll have a beer."
Yeah.
All right, we're back at the Hill House. Luanne is in the dark, watching TV, hiding in her own house.
Yeah, she's watching the telenovela.
Yeah, you hear "Vaya con Dios,"
Dios.
all that stuff.
Yeah, we all know who that is.
And then we hear the doors start to open. She turns the TV off, jumps up real quick, and runs hide behind the door frame in the kitchen. You hear her kind of whimper as she's doing that, and Peggy says, "That restaurant was no 7." Hank's like, "Look, I didn't know the restaurant only revolves at lunch. That did seem to stop anybody else from having fun." And you see Luanne go hide in the pantry, and as those doors shut, you still see the calendar kind of swaying, because she's hidden in the freaking pantry.
Yeah.
I don't know why she can't just tell them that.
Yeah,
But
I don't either. It's kind of weird how she's hiding the fact that she's there.
It's crazy.
So strongly. Like, she's going through all them lengths.
yeah, Peggy says, "Well, maybe it's because they were allowed to drink, Hank." He says, "I see. That's a shot at me. All right, well, I'll make you that Singapore sling you wanted." She goes, "I changed my mind. I want tequila."
I want tequila.
Peggy and tequila should never mix. That's not a thing that should happen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're now at the kitchen table, and you see her just down a tequila shot. By the way, there's a tequila bottle, and it just says tequila. It has an angry Mexican man and a cactus on it. And then you see the table that has lime, salt, and Dixie cups.
Okay.
Do you
Lime,
know what a
salt, and
Dixie cup is?
I do know what a Dixie cup is. It's a red plastic cup, right?
It is not.
Or a paper cup.
So
sorry.
they're the little paper ones.
Yeah, the little paper
I
cups,
think
sorry,
now
yeah,
you
yeah.
get them at like the dentist when you go. That's what
Yeah,
they
the
have
little
you
paper
fill up.
cups. Dixie's the paper. Okay. Yeah,
So Dixie is a brand name for a line of disposable paper cups that were first developed in the United States in 1907 by Lawrence Llewellyn, an inventor in Boston, Massachusetts, who was concerned about germs being spread by people sharing glasses or dippers at public supplies of drinking water. So think about that for a second. There used to be a dipping cup in a public supply of water. You would dip and take a drink and then put the cup back in there.
Oh, no.
That's gross.
Nasty. Man, that's nasty as hell.
Llewellyn developed an ice-cooled water vending machine with disposable cups.
That's
And
disgusting.
yeah,
Ugh.
and with another Bostonian, Hugh Moore, embarked on an advertising campaign to educate the public and to market his machine, principally to railroad companies. Professor Davidson's study was instrumental in abolishing the public glass and opening the door for the paper cup. Soon the devices, which would dispense cool water for 1 cent, became standard equipment on trains. So that's kind of so. When I was a kid, when I was growing up, we had Dixie cup dispensers in our bathrooms. So like you would brush your teeth and use a little Dixie
then you
cup
have the Dixie cup to then throw it away.
Yeah. So all right. So now we know all about Dixie cups and how they were invented for trained people. So we see her down a big tequila shot real quick in the Dixie cup, and she goes, "Oh yeah!" Hank downs one. He goes, "Oh, that was fun. Haven't done that in a long time." He stands up, and he's like, after one shot, he's done. He's ready to leave.
Absolutely wasted.
She goes, "Let's talk more limes." Then we transition to them much later, and they have drank the entire bottle of tequila together. They are drunk in the living room. Hank is face down on the floor. Again, that prone position that everybody goes to. Peggy is just all sloppy as shit over there next to the couch and the coffee
just
table.
Hammered.
Oh,
yeah.
She's still trying to drain the bottle. And Hank is over there singing, "Happy anniversary, baby, got you on my mind." That Little River Band sure was good. Do you know anything about the Little River Band?
No, I don't know anything about the Little River Band.
Happy Anniversary is a pop music song by Australian group Little River Band, released territories outside of Australia in December 1977 as the fourth and final single from the group's third studio album, Cocktail. It was co-written by Bob Birtles and David Briggs. The song became the band's second top 20 single in the U.S., peaking at number 16 in March 1978 on the Billboard Hot 100. So it is an Australian group called the Little River Band. He says,
never knew him.
Yeah, that Little River Band sure was good. Peggy's like, yep, they were a real seven. I mean, she is drunk as shit.
Yeah, she's out of there.
Hank's like, will you just let that go, will you? Just enjoy the music. She goes, "There's no music, Hank. All there is the sound of an empty house." And then we cut to inside the closet now where Luanne is. I guess she's still in the pantry. And you hear this whirring, like, she has managed to turn on the dustbuster and get her hair caught in it. So she's in the pantry with her hair stuck in a vacuum cleaner, and she's just like, and Hank kind of picks his head up and goes, "What was that?" Peggy goes, "Just the sound of all the children we never had."
Damn.
Jeez. Hank, again, being drunk, he goes, "I couldn't give them to you, Peggy. It's my fault. I have a narrow urethra. Yes, I do. This is my urethra." And he's blowing through one of those little mixing straws.
He's going,
He goes, "Nothing. I ran the 40 in 5.9 seconds, but my fellows haven't reached the end zone in 12 years.
And that's an observation that Artie said to me, too, was if he's running the 40 in 5.9 seconds, he's not a very fast running back.
Sure. But, I mean, I think the point is that he can't shoot through a straw.
Running the 40 in 5.9 seconds, there's no wonder why he couldn't make it through the straw.
So his little fellas won't make it to the finish line. Okay, Hank, I don't want to think about your little fellas. He goes, "What are we going to do now?" Peggy struggles to get up. She's just all wobbly like a baby deer. She goes, "Well, I'm going to do what I should have done a long time ago. Here I go." She can't hardly walk. She makes it out to the garage. Hank finally gets up. He crawls over to the garage and gets up. And Peggy, wait. Hold on. Why are you throwing out the baby stuff? I thought we were going to give it to Didi. She is like taking everything out of this big box that says Bobby's baby stuff, and she's just throwing it in the trash can. She's just getting rid of it all. She goes, "She doesn't need our baby stuff. She has a baby." "No, Peggy, I'm the one that deserves to be thrown out." And he gets in the trash can.
Yeah, desperation here.
Peggy says, "Hank, don't go in there without me." And then she tries to get in the can. They both fall over. The next morning, we see both of them still on the floor of the garage. Ladybird comes up and starts licking Hank on the face because they're both just out of it. He finally pulls a welcome mat out of the trash up over his face to kind of cover it up. And then we see them both kind of struggle and get up and go into the kitchen. Hank looks like hell. Peggy stumbles in, and she's got a "call mom" Post-it note stuck in her hair. I mean, that's how rough a night it was. Hank is over there pounding OJ out of the bottle right at the fridge, which I doubt he's normally allowed to do. And so he says, "You want to go out and get some pancakes?" And she just kind of shakes her head. We're now back at Cotton's house, and you hear Cotton from the other room saying, "Bobby, get in here." Bobby comes into the room, and it's Topsy and Bobby sitting at the couch. And he goes, Bobby, this is Topsy. Topsy babysat your daddy when he was a boy, and he was going to babysit your uncle, too. Topsy just goes, I need the money. He is the oldest man in this show. He is the most frail-looking, oldest man that you see in this entire show. This is the first time we
see him, too.
This is Topsy.
This is according to Artie, this is the first appearance of Topsy Toppington.
Topsy Toppington.
His voice actor is the one, the only, Stephen Root.
Oh, is it? Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Stephen Root does his voice.
He says, Bobby says, you're the au pair that they were talking about. They called Topsy an au pair. He goes, come here, son. He goes,
Topsy the au pair.
Come here, son, so I can get a good look at you. Cotton says, go on, Bobby. Let Topsy get a good look at you. I don't even know what that means. Bobby's like,
I don't want to know what it means.
Bobby's like, okay. Topsy says, I'm not going to bite you. And then Cotton, he can't. He had all his teeth yanked out of his head because they was green.
Ooh.
Do you know what causes green teeth?
No, I do not.
Well, let me fill you in on this. The reason why teeth turn green, and I did not get the website that I got this from, but it was something to do with health. Jaundice in an infant can cause green teeth. Persistent jaundice in an adult can cause green teeth. Rh incompatibility. It's a type of protein food found on the surface of red blood cells. So if you are incompatible with that, your teeth can turn green. ABO incompatibility. It's similar to Rh incompatibility. It occurs when pregnant woman has O blood group and her baby has an A or B blood group. So if they have different types of blood, their teeth can turn green. Sepsis. Sepsis is a fun word. It occurs due to a life-threatening reaction to an infection or some medications. So some antibiotics like ciprofloxacin and tetracycline may cause primary and secondary teeth staining and turn your teeth green. That is gross AF. So he said all his teeth turned green and they had to pull them all out. Topsy then grabs Bobby by the wrist and goes, get a little closer. My eyes ain't as good as they used to be. Cotton says, Topsy's legally blind. Like it's a good thing.
Like it's a good thing.
He's legally blind. And then we see Topsy's trademark where he blows his cheek out real big, like, you know, and Bobby says, ah! He runs off, and Cotton just thinks it's the funniest thing. Do it again, Topsy.
Do it again.
Just wants him to blow up his cheeks as much as he can. Now we're seeing Hank's truck driving away. So Hank and Peggy are now going to get their pancakes. Peggy says, could you please not use the turn signals? He goes, I'm not using the turn signals. That's the vein in the side of your head pounding. She goes, well, I don't feel any better yet. Do you? He goes, wait till you have the hotcakes. Now, they're going down this road that looks like it's just there's nothing around. I don't know how far they're having to go.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at. Yeah.
But he passes a liquor store and then backs up and pulls in, and he goes, hair of the dog. And he pops out an Alamo can in the truck, and they're both drinking beer, right?
Yeah, sipping
because
the beers.
To calm down
the nerves.
Yeah. Now, I want to know, where's the designated driver now, Hank? You're both sitting in the truck drinking beer.
Well, beer's
You wouldn't even have a beer at the spinning restaurant, though.
Let's be real. A beer is not a Shangri-La scammer or whatever the hell they were drinking.
Singapore sling.
Yeah, Singapore
Shangri-La
sling.
slammer.
Whatever it is.
Plus, I feel like the way Hank thinks it, like he drinks so much, I doubt one beer gets him anything.
I get it, but it immediately goes against the argument he just had. You know, about drinking in the restaurant.
Hank is a hypocrite. So.
No, definitely. Hank's wild.
Yeah, I didn't like him in this one. He says, hair of the dog. She goes, pelo de perro. Now we see them both in the back of the truck just kind of laid out, and they're looking up at the sky, at the clouds, and they're drinking. And Hank says, you know, Peggy, I was thinking maybe we could do some traveling. Maybe we take that trip to Alaska after all. She goes, oh, and then she kind of perks up. She goes, oh, I've always wanted to see Spain or Australia. For some reason, she says it in Spanish. I don't know why she rolls her R in the middle of Australia. She goes, oh, Hank, who are we kidding? We can't go anywhere. Not until Ladybird dies and Bobby moves out of the house. Hank, look. She looks up, and we see some people parachuting out of the sky, like 3 different parachuters coming down, and they're gliding down gracefully and everything.
This is beautiful.
It is. Hank says, huh. She goes, let's do that. He says, do what? She goes, parachute. Kahn and Minh bungee jumped off a bridge. Why can't we jump out of a plane? Hank says, Kahn and Minh are nuts. She goes, I've given you 20 years of outstanding service, Hank. I don't know. look, we fell asleep in a garbage can last night. You want that to be the highlight of our 20th anniversary? She's got a point.
Yeah, she does.
I mean, she's got a point.
Yeah,
right?
no, that was funny though.
So now we're at Cotton's house again. We see Bobby and Didi in the kitchen. Bobby is pumping full an applicator of Sheldon's new shin jelly. I'm assuming this is
The
for
shin
Cotton's
jelly.
shins.
Do they make a shin jelly? Did you look that up?
I did not look up the shin jelly. That sounds like somebody else's job. Artie, please look up shin jelly. So
Well, I
hear.
went ahead and looked it up.
Okay.
It's a song.
Is it a real thing?
It's a song by a band, The Crawdaddy.
Oh yeah, love them.
You know who they are?
No,
I
no
thought
idea.
you were
No
serious
idea.
for a second. I was
No,
like,
no idea.
Well, hold on, let me gauge the sarcasm.
Love
here.
them crawdaddies.
Yeah, so whenever you type in shin jelly, it's just a lot of
A lot of lyrics.
King of the Hill.
Oh yeah.
King of the Hill, and
I think
then,
it shows up again.
Yeah, because Reddit, you know how usually if you
Sure.
put something in, it's only been discussed on Reddit. It has the Reddit, more results from Reddit.com.
Reddit.
So it's just Reddit. That's all it is.
Where all our friends live.
It's a super in-depth discussions happening on Reddit about shin jelly
I'm sure.
right now on the internet.
So from the other room, we hear Cotton say, "Didi woman, light me a cigar." Didi is over there washing dishes. Bobby is filling the stick applicator with Sheldon's new shin jelly. Bobby says, I hope he treats the baby better than he treats you. Didi bends down and she's lighting the cigar off of the flame on the stove.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's 96 months pregnant or whatever. And she goes, "Oh, he will, Bobby, until the baby crosses him." Hello? Cotton comes walking in and goes, "Didi woman, where's my lunch? A man could starve to death waiting for you to serve him. I'm going to go to the bottomless pit to watch some naked women's dance while I eat." The bottomless pit.
The bottomless pit.
What a wonderful place.
Yeah, disgusting.
We are back at the pit at the Hills house, and Peggy is on the phone, and we're hearing what the lady on the other end says. She goes, "And we're closed on Thursdays, okay? Happy landings." Peggy says, "Happy landings to you, too." We see Hank over there on the side of the kitchen. He's throwing away all the Dixie cups and all the stuff left from their tequila night. And we see Luanne hiding under the sink for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Why the hell is she under the sink?
I'm not sure why she's hiding at all. She's just so weird.
She's got these great ideas, and she's moved from the pantry to the damn sink now. So anyway, she pulls the...
I gotta apologize real fast to anybody that thinks I'm making fun of Luanne. I'm not.
I am.
Luanne is a little silly, but yeah, she is a beautiful, intelligent young being.
No, she's not. She's nuts.
One of those
she's
things
nuts.
is correct.
Yeah. She's hiding under the damn sink. And so Hank's throwing that stuff away. He goes, so what'd they say? She says, "Well, they're all booked up for the rest of the month." He's like, "Oh, thank God." She goes, "But they have a couple of spots open today." He goes, "Oh, Geronimo." He's not looking forward to that at all. All right, so now we're back at Cotton's house. Bobby is about half in the dryer, and he's like, "Oh, where's that sock?" He gets out a big load of laundry, and he's starting to take it down there. And from the other room, you hear, "Cotton's grandson." And then Bobby comes around the corner into the kitchen, and he falls down and throws all the laundry on the floor, and he goes, "Oh, great, I just took those out of the dryer." He goes, "Where'd all this water come from?" So there's water all over the floor. Didi said,
I would call this. I honest to God would call this like this has to be one of the worst days of Bobby's life.
"Oh
Easy.
yeah,
This in the premiere.
shin jelly, Topsy, fallen in ambiotic fluid."
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
good God.
so
And
on my
then-
quest to find out what
and then what he has to do past this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So on my quick quest here to find out what
The
shin
view.
jelly is, there was a few Reddit posts, and I saw what I noticed what they were doing is they were looking for every episode or every instance of
That
him
shin jelly comes up?
of him articulating his feet.
Oh.
They said because they're trying to determine, like, there's a couple of doctors in here that are discussing these things, people who are actual
Sure.
physicians,
Sure.
and they're like, well, the anterior, posterior, this, that, and another, and such, and they're like, well, does he bend or is it fused?
yeah.
So there's like
It'd
multiple
have to be
debates and
fused
discussions.
the way he walks.
But there's episodes where he kicks his
Oh,
feet.
does he kick his feet?
So
I don't know how he
it's
does that.
I don't know. So
Remote control feet.
yeah, I don't know. Remote control feet.
So he
The
falls.
next in foot
He
technology.
falls in the water. Remote control feet. He falls in the water, and she says, "Bobby, my water broke. It means the baby's almost done." That is a weird way to put it, Didi.
Ooh, yes.
He says, now?
But is it inaccurate, though?
No, it's not inaccurate. It's just a weird way to put it. You're not an asshole. You're right. You're just an asshole. Bobby says, now? She goes, soon. You have to phone Cotton. He goes, I don't know the number to the bottomless pit. She goes, it's number 1 on the speed dial and number 3. They show the handset for the phone line, and it's number 1 just says pit. Number 2 says Topsy. Number 3 says pit again. I guess in case number 1 doesn't work.
Most likely.
I guess so, yeah.
I love how Hank wasn't even on that speed dial list, was he?
Yeah, no, nobody.
That.
Topsy in the pit twice. That's it. Yeah.
He's got a priority streak.
And so, yeah, he's got priorities, all right. Cotton answers the phone at the bottomless pit, and he goes, Bobby, this better be good. The next gal up plays ping pong without a paddle. You know what that means?
Plays ping pong without a paddle.
I know what it means.
Just throwing a ball around?
Well,
masturbating.
No. Shoots balls out.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
So
I figured it out.
Sucks them up.
I'm not innocent. I just figured it out.
Sucks them up, shoots them out.
It just was like max headroom,
Yeah, it's
right
gross.
over the top. Yeah, that is pretty gross. Now that I know what it is, it's definitely
Bobby on the other end of the phone
off.
says, Didi's going to have the baby. Cotton says, we'll meet you at the hospital. He goes, but Didi can't drive, and you took all the money. And he just hangs up on him. He goes, come on, Topsy, let's roll. Topsy's at the table with a ping pong ball in his mouth. Here's the gross part. He's got a ping pong ball in his mouth. He pops it out. It pops back at him. That's the gross part right there. So it came back to him.
Deedle deedle dee.
Yeah, that's not great.
We're not liking that one.
Don't you two kink shame?
I'm not kink shaming. I'm ping pong ball shaming, I believe. I don't know where that ball's been. Well, I know 2 places it's been. 3, the container, Topsy's mouth, and the stripper. Now we go to Bobby is driving the damn car. He's like, which way is the Houston Hospital? Didi's over in the passenger side. She goes, I'm not sure. Pull over and ask for directions. Bobby says, I can't do that. I shouldn't even be driving this car. I know where the Arlen Hospital is. It's 2 hours away. Can you hold it in? And then he passes a sign that says Arlen, 96 miles.
Well, there you go.
Which, I mean, you got to give props to Bobby.
Oh.
For somehow. Hold on.
1,000% you got to give props
Pulling
to Bobby.
this off.
Yeah.
And also, this is a damnation of the Texas, I guess, police force and the people who guard our
the
roads.
highway patrol.
Highway patrol.
Yeah.
How the fuck did they not see? No one
This
saw
tiny
this.
kid, that can't even get. Of course, I mean, I'm
And he's
assuming.
going super slow, too.
Well, but think about this, though. Like, if he's in Cotton's car, maybe they pass him and think it's Cotton because he's so short.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, well, that takes us to the next commercial break, and we will be right back.
Right back.
Hey, Rusty, did you know that you could be putting oil and chemicals in your coffee?
No, I didn't know that.
I mean, I love coffee creamer, but I don't think I've ever turned a bottle around to actually see what's inside. You know, recently I did, and I found out many of my favorite creamers, like especially the one my wife used to use, they contain ingredients I would never intentionally add to my coffee cup, like canola oil, dipotassium phosphate, whatever
Sounds
that is.
Terrible.
Artificial flavors. I can't take artificial flavors a lot of the time.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm
A lot
good
of
on
them
any
just taste-
flavoring.
they taste gross.
I don't like flavors in my coffee. I like the earth and flavor of coffee.
I mean, I love coffee. Don't get me wrong. I do love it. I just I don't like all that crap in my coffee, right?
Yeah, no, who does that?
So let me tell you about Laird Superfoods then. They have better ingredients, amazing taste, and functional benefits. Laird Superfood creamers are crafted from the highest quality, all-natural, real food ingredients. All Laird products are sustainably sourced and thoroughly tested to ensure that you're incorporating the cleanest, finest fuel into your routine. Now, they're all natural. They've got whole food ingredients. They contain naturally occurring MCTs from coconut oil. And everybody tells you coconut oil is good for you. Mm-hmm. There's no artificial flavors, no colors, no additives, no sugar from highly refined corn syrup. So that's a big deal right there. If you take one thing you do every day and make it better, Laird developed his creamer himself to stay powered for a day on the waves. He was a big wave surfer, Laird Hamilton was, and he needed a morning fuel that could allow him to spend the entire day chasing the ultimate wave. So he made this creamer, and it is it's crazy, crazy good. Laird sources high-quality plant-based ingredients globally and puts an emphasis on U.S. sources whenever possible. They aim to source responsibly and sustainably and believe that the food you consume should be as good for the earth as they are for you. They have honest and transparent products and labels. If you try it, you won't go back. They have functional superfood creamers, instant lattes, and prebiotic greens. They have a variety of snacks and supplements full of wholesome plant-based ingredients to keep you charged for wherever life takes you. So to get a deal on Laird Superfoods, I need you to go to zen.ai BWAAA King of the Hill. So that's zen.ai/BWAAA King of the Hill. And your offer code there is BWAAA. So Laird Superfoods makes a better creamer that keeps you powered all day, and it's better for you, the earth, and your coffee. What do you say, Rusty? You want to go get some coffee?
Coffee.
Hey, Rusty.
Yeah.
Did you know that dehydration is the leading cause of daytime fatigue?
Oh, no.
I don't know about you, but like 2:30, 3 o'clock, I just hit a wall almost every day. I was shocked to learn that even mild dehydration can cause headaches, muscle weakness, brain fog. But luckily, there's a cure.
Oh, there is?
Actually, I should have said there's a solution. It's called Cure. Cure Hydration. The Cure Hydration is an oral rehydration solution, or ORS, that contains the perfect balance of electrolytes. We know how important that is because plants crave it.
Super important.
And glucose to help your body absorb water and rehydrate quickly. The formula is made with all natural ingredients like coconut water powder and pink Himalayan salt. Whoopee. And it is free from artificial flavors, sweeteners, and preservatives. Cure Hydration is vegan, gluten-free, and non-GMO. That makes it a great option for anyone with dietary restrictions and preferences. The packets that they give you, they're convenient. They're easy to use. You just mix them with water and drink. They're perfect for on-the-go, travel, or anytime you need quick hydration. Hydration is more than just drinking water, Rusty. It is, that's what Lauren Picasso, a lifelong endurance athlete, discovered as she struggled to stay hydrated no matter how much water she drank. I've known people like that. My wife drinks so much water, it's crazy. Lauren found Cure, a science-backed electrolyte drink mix to make hydration easy for everyone. Cure believes that hydration should be simple and effective, but also clean and natural. That's why they only use the highest ingredients and quality plant-based stuff to avoid any artificial or harmful additives. They're committed to transparency and honesty. All of their ingredients are clearly listed on their website and packaging, and they're always happy to answer any questions or concerns. So are you ready to combat dehydration?
Absolutely.
You can try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use your code
BWAAA. Sorry, I blanked.
You're good. For 20% off your order. Try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use our special code
BWAAA
for 20% off your order. Your coupon will be activated at checkout. Try Cure Hydration. Stop drying out. And we're back once again. We see a big long line of cars going down this dirt road. And Bobby's like, go around, please go around. I can't see where I'm going. All these cars are honking at him and stuff.
Isn't it crazy how young he is driving this big, huge Cadillac car?
Didi says, put it on cruise control and stand on the seat. That's what Cotton does when we pass an accident. Dear Lord. Bobby says, I can't. The red light keeps telling me to brake. She says, oh, I think you need to release the parking brake. And this is a seminal moment here for me. Because Bobby goes down to release the parking brake. He screws up and releases the trunk instead, and a bag goes flying out, hits the car behind him. But he says, oh, fart. I've never heard Bobby say anything even close to that.
No, I haven't either.
Oh, fart.
Not that I can remember.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But Bobby's all about the farts.
He loves the farts. Now we're at the airport, and we're at the introductory class for the skydiving. You've got a teacher up front. He's in a I say teacher very loosely. He's in a tracksuit with his baseball hat on backwards, and he seems to be yelling the whole time. You're all here for different reasons, and personally, I don't care what those reasons are. You'll all be joined together by one thing I do care about, parachuting. You have never experienced anything like what you're about to experience here today. Nothing comes close, not even sex. Don't get me wrong, I like sex. big ass pregnant pause.
Super.
He goes, I like sex a lot. But parachuting is, God, it's hard to explain. You see Hank and Peggy sitting in the back of the room. Hank says, this guy may be able to skydive, but he sure can't teach worth a damn. Peggy says, well, teaching is much harder than it looks. Yeah, you would know, Peggy.
Yeah, she would, wouldn't she?
The teacher goes over and turns on the TV to show him a video, and the guy jumping out of the plane goes, excuse me while I kiss the sky. The Jimi Hendrix lyric.
Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
And he jumps out. Yeah, and then we see all the people that have jumped out. They're forming that weird air circle that people do when they jump out of planes and stuff. Everybody's got on a different colored jumpsuit. Now we've got Peggy and Hank out in the parking lot practicing jumping. We see Peggy first. She jumps off of what we find is just like an office chair. And the guy's like, good. And then Hank, it's his turn to jump. He literally just steps down.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of crappy of him, honestly. He's not putting himself into it. Bobby pulls into the emergency room lot, and he gets out and just falls down to the ground. The kid is just wiped out. I can't imagine how stressful it was for him to drive the Cadillac car all the way to the emergency room. We're back in the plane, and there's a guy sitting next to Hank and Peggy. Hank and Peggy are just waiting to jump out of this airplane. He kind of pats Peggy on the leg and looks at her. This guy turns to him and says, so, was it the first time? Peggy says, yeah. Hank says, yeah. He goes, well, me too. Peggy says, it's our 20th wedding anniversary. The other jumper says, congratulations. I've wanted to do this ever since I was a kid. I'm a virgin. That's the
sometimes you just gotta let people know.
Man, for some reason that just caught me the right way. I don't know what it was. Now we're at the Houston Hospital.
The Houston Hospital.
I don't think it's a real thing, but anyway. You see Cotton running in. Well, actually, Topsy drives up in another Cadillac.
Wait, are you implying there's no hospitals in Houston?
No, I'm implying that there's not one called Houston Hospital.
Yeah, it'd probably be Memorial Herman, I guess.
Topsy comes driving up in another Cadillac car, I believe, and he comes up on the curb and almost runs into the damn emergency room.
Yeah.
Cotton comes tumbling out. He's like, where's my wife? He comes into the emergency room waiting area, and there's a window there, like at a doctor's office, right?
Yeah.
But he's so short, he doesn't reach the window.
I barely reaches the anything.
So the lady back there is like, I know I heard somebody. Hello? And he goes, oh, do something, Topsy. And Topsy comes in. She can see him. He does his damn cheeks and scares the shit out of this lady. And she's like, ah! Cotton says, do something else. Now we're in the maternity ward. Didi is in the hospital bed. She's on her side. Bobby is on the phone next to her. He's rubbing her back with a tennis ball.
Yeah.
Do you know why you do that?
With a tennis ball, is it kind of like using one of massage guns or whatever? It just
kind
helps get the knots out
so
easy.
Apparently, I looked it up. It's a way to relieve sciatica pain during pregnancy. A lot of ladies get sciatica pain because of the pressure, and then that nerve that goes all the way down your leg. It hurts real bad. Yeah. Tennis ball on the floor. Lie on your back and place tennis ball under your lower back. Roll the ball around. Massaging your back muscles is a good massage while you're in the early stages of pregnancy. Tennis ball on the wall. Place a tennis ball between your back and the wall and roll the ball around. So I'm assuming this follows that same kind of
same thing,
thinking. Yeah. Okay. So we are in the maternity ward. Bobby is on the phone, and he is saying, come on, pick up. I don't want to see her private. She's my grandmother. Gross. We're back at the Hill House, and Luanne is scared to death to answer the phone. Obviously, Bobby is calling there. The phone's just ringing and ringing. She finally goes, she finally picks up the phone and goes, Johnny's Pizza. I mean, like she's fooling anybody with that stupid Greek voice she's using or whatever.
A Johnny's Pizza.
So Hank jumps out of the airplane. All these people are jumping out. Hank's time to jump. He falls kind of weird, but then he just kind of likes it. He looks over. He sees the teacher falling also. He tells him to pull the cord. He pulls it. And then Hank just kind of starts floating down real gracefully, you know. He goes, I can see Strickland propane from here. It's beautiful. He's just floating down, you know. Now it's Peggy's turn to jump. They ask her if she's ready. She's like, no. The guy in the plane says, you want to jump or not? She goes, you got my check. What do you care? We then see Hank land safely. Hank looks around on the ground and he sees another parachuter on the ground, and he goes over and picks him up and goes, Peggy, wasn't that amazing? And he finds out that that's the Virgin. Then the Virgin says, whoo, yeah, we made it. And then we're back on the plane, and the pilot says, Peggy Hill, it's your husband's on the radio. And she's able to talk to Hank on the ground. Hank says, Peggy, you were right. It's amazing. He's got the radio from the truck on the ground. He goes, it's like selling 1 million grills all at the same time with the extended warranties. You've got to do it. Peggy says, Hank, I can't. Okay, I want to take 1 second here to talk about the first woman who jumped out of an airplane.
Oh, so there's a story.
The first woman to parachute from an airplane. The story of Georgia Tiny Broadwick.
Georgia Tiny Broadwick.
Georgia Tiny Broadwick was the first woman to parachute from an airplane and the first person to manually deploy a parachute after a malfunction. Tiny was just 15 years old when she jumped from a hot air balloon at the 1908 North Carolina State Fair. Describing her feelings later, she said, I'll tell you, honey, it was, honey is in the quote.
Honey.
I'll tell you, honey, it was the most wonderful sensation in the world. It was a thrill she would come to experience 1,000 times in her life. She jumped out of an airplane 1,000 times.
That's a lot of jumping.
That is a lot of jumping.
I had a
and
buddy
God
who
bless
was,
Tiny, whatever her name was.
I had a buddy who was in the Army. He actually flies for the sheriff departments now. He's like the auxiliary pilot. During the Trump thing, he was actually flying around whenever they had the rally.
Yeah.
And he did
Not
a
the
bunch of
January
jumping.
6th thing.
No.
Yeah, gotcha.
The Waco thing.
Sure.
And not the Waco thing.
Not the Waco
and
thing.
not the Waco thing. But
It's
the Waco
amazing how
thing.
many caveats we have to put on
you had
things
to
around
put,
here.
well, especially Waco, because there's so much. There's so much weird stuff.
It was.
The home
Yeah.
of Dr. Pepper.
Absolutely.
But also the home of Davy Koresh.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Crush at Dr. Pepper with
Texas
your friend
Ranger
David
Museum.
Koresh. Oh yeah, the
It's
Texas.
just so it's just so weird.
Texas,
all the weird stuff.
The Sports Hall of Fame for the entire state of Texas. Like
Yeah.
Michael Strahan was
Yeah.
right here in Waco, Texas. at
Oh,
the-
my
the Hall of
Spurs
Fame.
were here not long ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were.
Anybody that's if you're a Texas athlete being submitted into a Hall of Fame, the only Hall of Fame that you'd be submitted to is here in Waco.
That's right.
Yeah.
So she's talking to Hank. She's just like, Hank, I can't do it. You hear, we have to turn the plane around. You want to jump or not? And then we go back down to the ground. Luanne comes running up to Hank, who's on the radio.
Yeah.
How in the hell did she know where they were?
I don't know.
You got any insight into that, Mason? How in the hell did she know where they were?
Well, she was in the kitchen the whole time they were talking about it.
Oh,
so
I
she
guess
heard
you're right.
everything.
I didn't even think about that, her being under the sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, good job.
Now the question is how the hell she got there.
Yeah, that's true.
Who knows?
That's another story.
That's right. She doesn't have a car, right?
I guess she
No,
just took
she
another
don't.
cab.
Took another cab. Yeah, girls made it money. She comes running up and goes, Uncle Hank, Didi's at the hospital. She's having the baby right now. Hank says, oh, my God. Peggy, great news. Didi's having a baby. I'm about to be a brother. What a day. She pauses super hard. Peggy does. She doesn't say anything. She's just kind of thinking through what she's gotten herself into. She's still on the airplane. He says, Peggy, can you hear me? She goes, yes, Hank. That's wonderful news. We will be landing in just a few minutes. Sad Peggy, she's super sad. She didn't jump. She goes, wait. She tells the guys in the plane, wait, I changed my mind. Peggy Hill is going to jump.
Oh, wow.
And then she jumps. She jumps and she's flipping head over tea kettle. I mean, she just, yep. And then the coolest thing happens, like, I really like the way they do this. They go from screaming Didi to screaming Peggy to screaming Didi, back and
the
forth.
Cuts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, honestly.
And if you want to learn more about animation cuts, you could check us out at the Animation Conversation.
Good job.
Coming soon.
She is falling out of the plane. She goes, hey, this is terrific. And she's screaming, and then it goes over to Didi. She's on her back screaming. And then the nurse is like, oh, the head is crowning. And you see Bobby in the delivery room looking into the birth.
Yeah.
Like he's looking between his grandmother's legs, watching this happen.
Well, it's a thing a kid would do.
No, that sucks. And he goes, oh, it has hair. And he's just like all grossed out, right? And he starts to leave, and the nurse says, where are you going, Daddy? Don't you want to cut the cord? And then you hear, the cord, pull the cord. And so you've got that juxtaposition of the cord for the baby and the cord for the parachute.
Yeah.
And then Peggy continues to fall. She pulls the cords. He goes, oh, your emergency cord. She pulls that one. Nothing happens. And I mean,
And it's messed
nothing.
up. The guy just pulls his cord.
That's what I've got a note here, and I said he tells Peggy to pull the cord, and then he just boop, there he goes. He pulls his, and he's done.
Quickly just dashed and got her.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Gone.
No, this dude just left her. And then the next thing we see is she literally just hits a field.
Yeah. Did you look up anything about the somebody falling?
I did not.
You didn't?
No.
Yeah, we've all heard this story before. Well, Rusty, can you relay this question to Artie? If he can at all find any old like promos or something when they for hyping up season 4.
Oh yeah.
That they did. He has time to do this.
There's
If
some
he
commercials
knows,
out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know how much if they hyped up at all that Peggy was, as obviously.
I would love to know.
Peggy's alive.
Actually, man, I've been on.
There's only a 4-month.
Well, I've been on the Internet Archive really heavy.
Did you know that?
And
there was only a 4-month break between this?
Yeah, there was.
Part 1 and part 2?
Yeah, that was it. There's only a 4-month break. I did a bunch of research on Internet Archive, and I've got a lot of that stuff cataloged somewhere on my PC at home of
all the promos and stuff.
all the promos.
Yeah,
a lot of the promos and stuff.
During our gap, we should go through those.
Yeah, we should.
I'd
we should
love
look
that.
at some of that.
That'd be great.
We could look at some of the promo stuff for that.
So she literally just falls face first flat in a field. Hank is just standing there watching the whole thing. And my favorite part of this is when she hits the field, all the birds just go, they just fly off. They're startled and they all fly off. And then that is it. We go to credits. We don't know if Peggy's alive. We don't know if she's dead.
Life and death.
Okay. So here's the only thing that gets me is we get the dramatic music through the credits and stuff. And then we're treated to a reel of Peggy just falling.
To free fall.
And we hear the song Free Falling playing, but it's not Tom Petty. It's some girl singing it.
It's still funny though.
It is. It's very funny. Yeah,
hilarious.
It's great.
I think this is their way of. I think this was their way of telling us that she was going to be fine.
Before
what I'm saying here though, just real quick,
go ahead.
Is that I guess Tom Petty they hadn't even talked to him yet or whatever. I just wonder if this was like the impetus to bring him on. If like they started talking to him after this.
Maybe.
Yeah. I just wanted to give this is a tribute. This episode is dedicated to Franz Reichelt. He was born October 16th, 1878 in Bohemia, Austria-Hungary, and he died on February 4th, 1912 in Paris, France. Cause was parachute failure. He was a tailor who thought that he had designed a parachute that would work and decided that he would test said parachute himself. A man that stands behind his own product.
Wow.
And jumped off of the, it's 33 feet, I think.
33 feet?
No, not 33 feet. Sorry, his Eiffel Tower jump was Sunday, February 4th at 7 a.m. He arrived at the tower by car with 2 friends. He was already wearing his parachute suit. Climbed all the way to the top. It was cold that day with a stiff breeze.
I guess if you try that stuff, you do have to try it, right? If you invent that stuff, you do have to try it.
And
the Wright brothers.
So there's actually a video of the jump. So they recorded his jump. And you get to see him kind of amping himself up, and then you get to watch him physically jump off to his death. So the man actually stands on this ledge.
This is like an old black and white.
Yeah, it's a black and white,
the kind that flutters. And stuff.
the old footage, 1912 footage.
Oh,
and he just kind of stands there, and imagine what's going through this man's head right here. He said, "I'm the guy. I'm the innovator. I'm the dude I'm coming up with new technology here. I'm a tailor."
He's just waiting and waiting and waiting.
Look at my suit and see him kind of like teeter a couple times. He's not feeling it.
It looks like he's in the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, it almost does. That's a wild looking suit.
But it's dark. It's
it's really dark.
Suit.
But that's his suit, and he's
got
by
a
it.
Pointed head. Oh, there he goes.
And he
jumped
there's
right
no
off of
nothing.
The thing,
Boom.
and he just hit
Game
the ground.
over.
Wow.
And there was no nothing. Literally no resistance.
And now the crowd is just carrying him
away. Here
gross.
lies our friend.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So they actually had a cinematographer on that. So yeah.
Wow.
So rest in peace to the
There's
man
two
who
amazing
did
things
it all.
there, right? The fact that he jumped off the thing. There's more than two, but the fact that he jumped off the Eiffel Tower, that was even allowed.
Yeah.
The fact that he was the first guy to invent a parachute. The fact that they picked him up, and I don't know if he lived or not after that.
Yeah.
But
no,
also,
he didn't. He died. They said that his right leg and arm were crushed. It broke his spine and his skull. And then when they found him, when they went to him, he was bleeding out of his nose and his mouth and stuff. So.
But also, you said 1912.
Yeah, this was in 1912, February the 4th. Too.
The most amazing thing to me is that there was a camera there filming it.
That was the year my grandpa was born.
Because I mean, that had to be a huge deal to pull all that crap in there and film that. So. All right, well, we are going to find out if Peggy is alive or dead. Maybe not at next episode, but possibly the next.
Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
So if you guys want more of us, where can they find us?
You can find us on Linktree at linktr.ee/BWAAAKOTH. We're on all social media. And you can also find us at roguemedianetwork.com.
Hey, I'm going to tell you about a social media just real quick. There's a thing called Blue Sky. Have you seen that?
Blue Sky. No, I haven't.
So Blue Sky was invented by the guy who started Twitter. You know, he sold it off.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Now he's invented a new one just called Blue Sky. Get on the waiting list for that. I feel like it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
If Twitter keeps crap in the bed, then somebody's going to need something. It doesn't allow GIFs, doesn't allow video, anything like that. It's literally just like Twitter was when it first started. It's just text, and you can only use 300 characters.
Oh, cool. I'm going to sign up for it.
It's kind of cool, honestly. All right, guys. Well, check us out next time. Also, make sure you support our advertisers. We've got BlendJet. We've got Laird Superfoods, we've got Wongo Puzzles, and we have Cure Hydration. Also, if you're in the Waco, Texas area, go to Champions, get a haircut, and tell them we sent you. And we will see you next time.
We matan, yay.
We matan. Bwaaa. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.